Assalamu alaikum, peace. I'm Coach Fatima.
Hello, alaikum, peace. I'm Nyla, Coach Nyla, and if you guys don't know, haven't followed us or whatever the case may be, we're co-wives
y'all.
and co-founders of Outstanding Personal
Relationships.
Relationships.com and all that other good stuff.
Yes.
So, if you guys followed us throughout the week and saw the different posts that we've had on our Instagram and the Facebook, you would know that we were talking about self-awareness,
Yes.
being authentic, being true to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to talk about that. How do you do that? What does that look like?
Right, because it sounds easy. Like,
Right.
just be yourself. Bye.
Right. Right. So what does that mean? You know?
I think we were talking behind the scenes, you guys, but being your authentic self, I always have like a gut feeling about, because you're with yourself all the time.
Exactly.
You live in your body 24/7. But what does that look like for you as an individual? And for me, I remember one time I think I like to call it being a caricature of myself. And a friend of mine was on the phone with me, and I remember I was walking up and down the alley, and I was like, she was like, Fatima, you're funny. That's like what you do.
Right.
And when I see you not be funny, I said, well, she'll be so much better when that old Fatima shows up, because she could see it. It was manufactured. And I said, okay, I had to look at my pattern of behavior and say, my pattern of behavior over the last 40 something years is being funny. And then when I'm not funny or I'm too quiet, then that's not me. Like, I like being happy. I like being funny. And that has been my pattern. And this friend of 20 plus years said, what you're doing right now is not you. So you need to get back to who you are. And that person is funny. Yeah. And I visited a friend of mine too, and she was a different friend. I got a lot of them. And she was so courageous, because she said, I don't like this Fatima. Love me enough to tell me the truth, right? And she said it so... Did you
love that Fatima?
I didn't, because I wasn't being the funny. So this was a moment in time where everybody was like, wait a minute now, this ain't who we know. Yeah. And then I said, okay, how do I get back to that? I looked at my pattern and I said, I would always make like a difficult moment in my life a joke. Yeah. I didn't at this time, and they could see it. So they loved me enough to tell me the truth. And then I went back and said, okay, what is my personal pattern of behavior? And it's being funny, cracking a joke,
That's that part. It's interesting. You have people to tell you, to like kind of hold the mirror up.
Because I was like, dang.
Hold the mirror up.
Went off on me, but
and that's the thing.
I needed that.
Quick story about me and the caricature. I like that, the caricature, because I heard this saying about that we kind of live our lives based on what we think others think we should be. Yeah. So that was kind of my life for, my gosh, I can't even remember how long. And I'm gonna tell you, when I came to a breaking point where I realized I wasn't being my authentic self. I was a teenager, actually, and I came to a breaking point in my life where I was suicidal. Like, I was a confident kid. Usually kids are very confident. You watch children, they say kids say the darndest things. They're not afraid to say. Right. You want to talk about authenticity? Look at kids. They're very authentic. But it was my teenage me, where I was like, you know what? I can't do anything right. I can't please anybody. And I lost my self-confidence. And it was during that time where I said, you know what? I need to, well, at first I didn't say I need to take a break. My thing was like, I need to end it. Nobody cares about me, this and that, whatever. But I was so distraught, and my self-esteem was so low that I didn't think I could pull off a suicide properly. So I'm like, call that, a blessing in disguise or whatever the case may be. But I said, you know what? something got to change.
Yeah.
Something got to change. I wasn't authentic with myself because I was trying to be whatever anybody else wanted me to be. I had to be, and I'm the oldest of 9 kids, so I'm used to being this superwoman, I guess.
Yeah, you're
and
the leader.
I remember my a friend of mine told me, she was like, yeah, you know, well, I look at you as a superwoman. And I, for a while, I've hated that term. First of all, I embraced it, like, yeah. But then I started to hate it because I'm like, you're expected to be the savior of everybody, right? And where do superheroes go when they need help? You know, where do they go? Like, who helps the superhero? And I'm like, sometimes you gotta, you need a break. And people didn't see that. People saw like, oh, I couldn't be mad. I couldn't be sad. I couldn't have a bad day. You know, I'm supposed to be this type of person. And because I'm a people pleaser, because I like the stuff for the greater good, I would sacrifice my feelings. I would sacrifice a lot of stuff for other people's happiness. Thinking that as long as they're happy, I'm going to be happy.
The fixer.
Yeah. And my auntie told me, she said, you cannot make everybody happy. She said, you know what, you need to make you happy. Worry about making you happy. So that was the thing, you know, when it came to being authentic, was that, you know what, am I pleased with me?
Right.
Am I pleased with the person that I am, that I want to be, and everything like that? And when I wasn't, and I still do this. This is kind of like my gut check, you know? Like, sometimes we get caught up. You know what I'm saying? You and I, we're wives, we're mothers.
Got a lot of hats.
Like so so we get caught up in this thing, and then we're like, ooh.
You can forget yourself.
Yeah, am I being Nyla? Am I being Fatimah? You know, is this me?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, remember when we went on the trip to Atlanta? We told the kids, was like, we denounced our name Umi. We like,
they Umi'd us for how many hours?
And Umi, for those who don't know, it means my mother. It means mother. So the kids call us Umi, you know, and they. Yeah,
you called it worse than me.
I said,
it was.
I'm not Umi no more. My name is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. If you can't say it, then you ain't talking to me. It was, you know, sometimes you got to take that break though. Yeah. Because people would, not that they would try to take you for granted. I don't think that that's everybody's intention.
Right. That's not always that. That's not. They don't even see that this is happening to you, where you might feel like you're being taken for granted, and that's not people's intention. But it can happen. You can start feeling like that.
Yeah. So your part, when you say, "I'm going back to Fatimah." Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What does that look like? Like,
this is boring.
It's like, what does that look like? Like what part, or what do you do? What does that preparation look like? When you first, let's say, how do you even recognize that you possibly stepped out of space?
It really, for me, was people telling me, and then I just felt bored with who I was being. This is not me. I'm the life of the party, you know. And
extrovert.
Yeah, super extrovert, and I am. But then I was having this long introvert moment, and then the family and the friends were like, right? Oh, I don't like this, because I don't know what it is about my personality type, but I draw introverts like you wouldn't believe. I think they find me very entertaining. Yes. But and my daughter was telling me, she was like, well, she loves hanging out with me because she said I don't feel like pressure. Yeah. To like be on or be, you know what I mean?
It's so true.
And for me, it's effortless to just be funny and have a good time, and you know, I can get serious. Yeah. I can get serious. I can have my quiet moments, and I think it's good to have quiet moments. But I was having one big old long quiet moment that lasts for months, and my friends were like, the room was too quiet, and it was. You know, and then I started saying, they are just telling me what I already know. I'm being too quiet, and I'm letting the situation that I was dealing with at the time own me instead of controlling that situation and saying, okay, this is not the best thing that is going on in my life right now, And I was surrounded by a lot of illness and a lot of, my dad was sick a lot and in and out of the hospital, and I was seeing that affecting me at my core, because I'm like, he's starting to like check into the next life, and his body is starting to shut down. And he's in denial about it, but I'm not. He was totally in denial about it, but I wasn't. And so I just kept him on my mind constantly, and it started to change who I was. And then something said, I mean, we're Muslim, clearly, and I had to go, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Or am I supposed to accept what is happening to him as what Allah wants for him right now? It's time for him to go into, he started entering his death, and none of us really knew it. And then his heart started shutting down. But then my heart started shutting down because I'm pondering the thought of losing him. So I was very melancholy, to say the least. But friends of mine were like, okay, we know this is happening, and how do we show up and have the courage to power through it, and then be you while you're doing it. So I had got to the point where I was saying, okay, well, maybe I can make him laugh or go to the hospital, be funny for him. And, my dad would leave the intensive care unit because they didn't have the badge of game on. He was one of those whitely hospital. I didn't play the game. I'm like, crazy. I mean, pulled IV out and he was on the streets.
Oh my gosh, that was my great granddad. So
so then you know what I'm talking about. But it was identifying through just my gut saying, this is not what you're doing. This is not you. And this is not what we're supposed to do as a believer, as a Muslim. That I can't accept that he did this to his body. It's shutting down. And now how do I power through it? And part of me powering through adversity and through trial and challenges and triumph is being funny. I'm funny in all those spaces. So I had to get back to that.
So she's talking about being funny. I cry. So I cry when I'm happy. I cry when I'm sad. I cry when I'm mad. I cry. And that was the thing that I wasn't being authentic with myself on that. That was the thing that I felt ashamed about, because I was teased about it. It was called a crybaby and things like that. Being weak, right? And I'm like, I'm not weak, I'm strong, I'm Superwoman.
With the tears going, I'm strong.
So I'm a strong black woman. So that was embarrassing to me, to be called a crybaby or anything like that. But now I'm like, hey, this is me, I cry. And sometimes I do the ugly cry, and it's just the way it is. I'm human.
And my kids think, and my daughters are like, oh, Nyla, she's just so cute, because they see that you're in touch with who you are and your emotions, and they're like,
it took a minute.
And I think that as we grow, we kind of transition, we evolve into who we're going to be.
That's that part, that growth.
And you accepted it.
And it's not just age. It's not about the age. The growth comes with awareness. The growth comes with saying, you know what do I want to be? What do I want to put out into the world? And this is what I want, not what. It's really interesting, because I don't know how to word it, but it's almost contradictory in a way, but where it's like, what do I want to put out in the world? But it's like not, and it's what do I want the world to see me as, but not in this phoniness part. Like, what do I want to, what I want, and this is what do I want the world to see me as, but not what do I want the world to perceive me as?
Exactly.
You get what I'm saying?
I mean, it's so important, because people will say, my experience of Nyla is this, or my experience of Fatimah is that. What is my experience of me, though?
Right.
How do I experience myself? How do I show up in my life? Am I showing up phony? Or am I showing up as my authentic self that I know to be, that my family knows me to be, that my friends know me to be? You know what I mean?
I remember someone telling me, be you, then give me the opportunity to like you or not. Like, don't look at what you think I may like or that I may want from you and try to be that person. Be the person that you are, and give me that choice of whether, don't try to trick me. And that's how I looked at it. And I was like, "Ooh, I don't want to be, I don't want to trick anybody. I don't want to show up that way where a person, I'm being that type of person where you don't know if I'm real or not. It's like, okay,
you gotta figure it out.
You got to figure it out because I'm like, okay, well, this person like this, so I'm gonna be this way.
That's too much. That's too much. It's too much to be trying to manage.
And it's exhausting.
It is.
What they talk about lies, you have to remember you don't have to.
You have to have a good memory for.
You have to have a great memory for a lie. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying. But when you're telling the truth, when you're being authentic with yourself, it just comes naturally. It's automatic.
Yeah.
So we want to give you a few tips on how to recognize that and just stick and stay.
How does that work? Oh, in polygyny?
Oh, well, you know what? Let's talk about how that works in polygyny. Well, we already talked about, being co-wives.
I've had people ask me, it's almost like when you're married to the same person, you have the same husband. People go, well, how is Nyla? How is she? And then they go, how's Fatimah? How's she at? And I like to always say, why don't you get to know her?
Well, they expect you to be the same. It's like they expect you to be
clearly
like
not the same.
one and the same, where you don't think that you have your own personality.
Yeah, like get to know her. Don't ask me because my experience. We have the same husband. Mm-hmm. So we're experiencing each other in a different way than a sister that might be, or just anybody from any religion might experience us. So if you're experiencing me as a friend of mine, I'm not married to my friend, but they know, okay, this is who you are. But don't ask me how, because for example, in polygyny, if you have two wives and they don't get along, and then here we come coaching, and they'll go, well, I don't like her. Are we supposed to not like her because
that part
their co-wife doesn't get along with them? That would be unfair because we haven't gotten the chance to hear this person's story. Right.
And that's
you got to get to know
definitely
the person.
Been authentic where when it comes to polygyny, where not trying to be the other person or be like the other person, or try to do everything like that. It's like, okay, well, Fatimah is great at art. Me, not so much. I'm not gonna pretend like I am. I know I want to be, because there's certain things that I'm like, I have like this eye for like fashion and different stuff that I want to do. But I was like, you know what? Maybe I can hire somebody to do the stuff, because I don't know. Maybe I could tell her my ideas. She could just do it and everything like that. But it's certain things that I had to be authentic. I had to be true to myself. Yeah. And not try to be Fatimah number 2.
And then the thing is, you're good at like health and wellness and vitamins and all. I can't remember that stuff, y'all. I'm not gonna try. What I'm gonna do is I have her phone number.
Right. And
I'm gonna ask her what vitamin B does, because I can't see. But I can draw you something, or I can design things. But remember the information about like the body and what you put in your hair and all that stuff. I know what I put in mine, but if I need help, I have to. So we have our strengths in different areas. Right there. So for the things that I can do, she can do things too.
Be pleased with that.
Yeah, and then people will go, oh, do you guys like the same thing? I don't. She likes red. I don't like red that much.
Yeah, I can tolerate. I like red. I mean, red looks nice. My daughter, she really loves it. But me, I'm pink. I'm a pink.
Yeah, she's pink, but she doesn't despise red like I do. I mean, I wear little splashes of it, but then people go, just the littlest things. They'll go, well, Nyla did this or she did that, and I'll go, alhamdulillah. But that's her jam, though. Yeah. That's what she likes. That's what she does, and that's okay. No, we're different people. We're different people, and they think that's the thing. They make the common denominator our husband, and then go, well, they must be the same because they're both here.
Yeah, they're both here, and he should like this one type of thing. So that's that part. So being authentic is just being true to you, regardless of
who you're married to.
Who you married to, what people see you.
Because I'm going to be an artist, whether he in town, out of town, at your house, or what. Right. I'm still that person. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't stop. And I don't know if you dealt with this with your family, but I remember when he would go out of town, and I, for some reason, when I was younger, they think I'd jump out of my scarf when he'd leave, or he's going now. She can stop that.
I've had that. No, I've had that. Like,
whether he's here or
like
not.
when I first converted to Islam, people who were there when I took my shahada, which is when you convert to Islam, your oath, and people see me years later and they're like, "Oh, you're still covered.
You're still doing that?
Oh, you're still Muslim. You're still this."
Yeah.
And because people out, like you said, I don't know, they're associated with like a man or your husband or whatever the case. Like, you did it for somebody else.
Right.
You didn't do it for yourself.
So we get tangled up that way in polygyny.
Yeah.
And then we're mothers of children and go, how do you get love both and authentically loved by him, and you're so different from each other, or we have many children and we love them at the same time, and they're all different.
Yeah,
so there's a lot of kids here, and no two of them are the same.
Right, they're authentic.
Yeah,
they're authentic. Yeah,
we have to deal with their authenticity.
Exactly, they're all different. We can't treat them all the same.
Right.
I mean, they'll have some similar things that we'll deal with them on, but
like all the boys are loud and stuff like that. But individually, they're so different from each other. But we love them at the same time.
Exactly.
And I just think that we get that a lot, where they think because we have the same husband that we're just clones or
we're clones,
of each other.
Yeah, we got to do the same thing or like the same thing or be the same way.
And we cheer each other on about. So if Coach Nyla is saying, I cry, I'm a crier, I always end that with, and that's okay.
Yeah, she does.
And that's okay, because what we're not going to do is apologize for being in touch with our emotions.
And I used to apologize. For anything that I did. I'm corny. Now, I was corny. I'm corny. That's just the way I am.
You need a good knock joke. Boom.
And a corny one.
They're great.
So that's the part. And the thing is, this is the thing. This is like, be true to you. What does that look like? That looks like where you are comfortable in your own skin. That looks like when you can look yourself and say, you know what? I'm happy with the person that I am. I'm actually happy with the person that I'm becoming. And, and your becoming better is not based on what other people think that you should be. It's based on what you think you should be, become. Because we're always, we're growing or dying. We're growing or deteriorating. So if you're on the growth track, you're going to always be a better you. Yeah. But that's the thing, being a better you, not being a better somebody else. Right. How do you do that? You reflect. One thing is reflect. Yes. Be aware. Be aware of the feelings that you're having, because you will feel when you're not authentic. Mm-hmm. You'll feel it. It'll be some type of tension that's
don't diminish those feelings.
Yeah, don't diminish it. Be like, okay, let me sit back, and now what do I do? So that's kind of one of my tips for you. Just be aware of it, and then say, now what? Yep, identify and say, now what? Now what do I want to do to get through this challenge, and what do I want to do to grow? And am I doing it because I want to do it, because I feel that I should do it, or is it only because someone else told me that I have to do it?
Right. And if somebody's doing that to you, you got to think about, is it manipulation? Are they trying to put you in a box and create and manufacture this alternate you? And you got to know your worth. You got to know your worth. You got to identify your past healthy pattern of behavior. Yeah. Because we're not talking about, if you were a jerk, be a bigger jerk. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about healthy evolution and enhancing what's there. Yeah. If and then the older we get too, I'm noticing we all are noticing our children are growing, and sometimes that makes me emotional. And I'm like, ooh, I have daughters that are in their 20s, and I'm like, I remember when they were little, and that might make me well up. And it's I don't pride myself on not crying easily, but I cry, especially when I'm thinking about their growth. And our kids are always watching us to try to figure this thing out and how to be their authentic selves, because we have some young adults in our family. But get in touch with the healthy you, not the toxic people that try to change the goodness in you.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So she's gonna stay corny, and I'm gonna stay loud and artsy and funny, and you're gonna stay where you helping people with their health and wellness.
Indeed.
And I love it.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it because I ain't, like I said, gonna remember none of that. That's not my superpower. That's yours.
And that's the thing, you know. So
Yeah. How do you reach us?
here's the thing. Preferably you gotten something from this.
Yes.
Be your authentic self. Be true. Be the best you. You're gonna hear that. That's my tagline. Be true. Be the best you. Be your authentic self.
Yes.
Now we get into it a lot more in detail. We give you more tips, and we talk about how you can identify that in our programs. So make sure that you follow us.
Yes,
Make sure you follow. Yeah, plug in so you guys can get the updates, and when the program will be released. You can visit us at outstandingpersonalrelationships.com. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment, share this. Sharing is caring.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, until next time, be true, be the best you. Peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. See you guys next time. Remember, adding value to yourself is always priceless. Thanks for the love. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.